Let's learn the ancient time-honored techniques of making fermented food with Chef Monica Ford. Monica specializes working with celebrities and teaches classes on traditional foods like yogurt and much more. Nice to have you.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Leslie. How's everybody doing? Good? Good. My name's Monica Ford, and Davis and Lola, her ukulele, are going to help us out today, because what good food demo does not have a ukulele? I have a company called Real Food Devotee where I make lots of lacto-fermented foods and beverages. You can actually make your own sodas that are low in sugar, very, very low in sugar, so I might use a pomegranate juice to make a pomegranate soda and not add any sugar at all. It would actually have less sugar than a glass of that fruit juice. It would be naturally carbonated. So we're going to learn all about that. We're actually going to make sauerkraut today as well. And then I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And one of the benefits to doing your own lacto-fermented veggies is that you create totally new B vitamins. We can do sauerkraut, but if you don't like sauerkraut, you can lacto-ferment fruit and have, delicious lacto-fermented mango. You can make your own ketchup that's lacto-fermented, and one of the benefits of that is it's probiotically rich. It's an awesome way to support your health, but also really delicious. So we're going to start with something really easy.
Hey Monica, I wrote a song about probiotics.
Oh, you did?
It just so happens. I just wrote it. You guys want to hear it?
Okay, you can give us just a little bit of that.
Okay, it goes like this. Probiotics are good for your health. Probiotics are good for your wealth. Probiotics.
Okay,
that's it.
Davis.
Is that good?
Thank you guys for that. So when you get your cabbage, you actually don't want to wash it. You can just peel off the leaves that don't look so great. And the reason you don't want to wash it is because cabbage has this wonderful bacteria on its leaves called lactobacilli. And those are what you want to use to ferment your food. Now, there are a lot of things on the market you can buy that are called culture starters, and you can use those to make lacto-fermented foods, but you don't have to. It can be a process where you don't have to buy anything to make this wonderful food, right? All I'm going to use is cabbage. I'm going to use a little garlic, because I like garlic. And I'm going to use some salt. And I'm going to use a little water, and I'm going to use a little elbow grease, but that's it. Now, if you guys want to, you can use your food processor, just put it on slice, and you won't have to slice the cabbage. But it's actually a pretty easy process. So I'm just going to show you how. You just want to take out the core of your cabbage. And you can see here that actually before I cut it in half, I made it a flat surface on the bottom, so it doesn't slip away when I'm cutting it in half. You have your cabbage without the core, and you'll just do little slices, just like this.
Slicing the cabbage, slicing the cabbage, slicing the cabbage, slicing the cabbage.
Didn't you guys wish you had someone to follow you around like this? So you're just going to get little slices like this. They're going to be beautiful in your sauerkraut. You'll just mince up some garlic, which is magically already minced up for me here.
Mince up the garlic, mince up the garlic, mince up the garlic. It's so good for you.
And my magically shredded cabbage here. So you guys can buy these really beautiful mason jars if you want to. But when I started, I was really frustrated. I couldn't find any mason jars, so I just went to the grocery store and got a big jar of pickles and dumped them out and used that. So don't let anyone tell you that you have to have something really high-tech or certain jars or anything really in particular that you probably don't already have around your kitchen. You can use it. So I've already shredded up this cabbage just in the way I showed you. My hands are clean.
Dump out the pickles, recycle jars from your grocery store.
Okay, Like if I wanted to make a fennel sauerkraut, or if I wanted to make caraway sauerkraut, or garlic sauerkraut, I'll use 1 tablespoon per head of cabbage. Easy rule, easy rule. And then I'll use 1 tablespoon of sea salt. Not the regular table salt, it doesn't have all the minerals in it. Use sea salt. Sprinkle it over your cabbage.
Salt. Now they'll remember.
And then you get to start kneading it. Now when I first started, the person who taught me how to make sauerkraut taught me to beat the cabbage. Like this, literally. I saw this interesting man named Sandor Katz, who is a self-proclaimed ferment fetishist. And if you guys want a really great book on fermenting, get Wild Fermentation. Super awesome. But he says you should squeeze the cabbage, and that works so much better.
Squeeze the cabbage. Squeeze the cabbage. Now we're gonna squeeze the cabbage a little more.
And this style of fermentation is actually the most traditional style of fermentation because we don't use whey as our culture starter, and we're not using something else that we buy from the store as our culture starter. So we're not bringing more boxes and packaging into the world, which is really nice. So once you've worked your cabbage down, we're gonna put it in a jar. It's really that easy.
Put it in the jar.
Take a really fancy mason jar and start putting cabbage in. And you can use your hands. I know this looks messy. You can use your hands. It is messy, you're right. Or you can get something really awesome like this. And beat it down. If you have any aggressions you need to take out, this is a really positive way of taking those out. So an awesome way to add those enzymes back to your meal, to not have to go to sleep after you eat a big meal, is to have some fermented veggies with it. They're also creating UV vitamins, C vitamins, probiotics. I mean, these are really awesome foods to fortify your immunity with, to give you a great gut ecology.
Hey Monica.
Yes?
I wrote a song about the gut.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah. Goes like this. If you wanna go to the bathroom, then you should eat sauerkraut. That's it. That's all I got so far. Question?
Good question. Yeah. So once you put it into your jar and made sure that everything is sitting below the brine that you've made, put your lid on tightly and then put it in an area of your home that will stay roughly room temperature, which means somewhere between 70 to 85 degrees. So if your house gets really cold at night, then you might consider getting a seedling mat, which you can get at any hardware store or a nursery. You can just put that down, it'll just bring it a little above ambient temperature and keep it warm. Because the lactobacilli will become inactive if it's in cold storage. So he was asking, did I add water to this ferment? And no, I didn't. Now, if you're fermenting something that doesn't give off a lot of water, like cabbage actually gives off so much water. The longer you squeeze it, the more brine you make. But if you like really soupy sauerkraut, which some people do, some people like to strain off the juice from sauerkraut and actually use it just to drink. And in fact, I do this stuff called beet kvass, which is also a lacto-fermented drink, and it is great in dirty martinis. Great. And the juice from sauerkrauts is great in a Bloody Mary. So if you wanted to add water to it and just make a little more brine, it's certainly useful for things. So once we've jarred it and put the lid on tight, then you'll put it in a room temperature area of your home and leave it there for roughly a week. You want to leave it the minimum of a week because you didn't add any culture starter to this. If you add a culture starter, many times the fermentation will be much more quick. But when you do it in this traditional method with just salt and the bacteria that already exist in the vegetable or fruit that you're fermenting, you want to leave it a week, and you can leave it up to a month if you want. So if you ferment it for a week or a month, once you take it off, The big jar that I'm passing around, if you feel that on top, it's completely hard. And the reason for that is there's so much carbon dioxide pressure in that. She's asking, what is this in the large jar? It's called a ginger bug, and it's a lacto-fermentation that I make to make sodas. And we'll talk about how to make sodas next. It is very hard to mess this up. Bacteria are very hardy, and you're really promoting growth of good bacteria, the lactobacilli. It's very hard to mess it up. Now, if you see discolored area on top, maybe like a mauve color or beige, that's chyme yeast. You do have a mixture of bacteria and yeast in whatever you're fermenting, be it fruit or vegetable, and sometimes that can give it an off taste, but there's nothing wrong with it. It won't hurt you in any way. It just tastes weird, and you'll know that it tastes weird. If you're eating a cooked food, you no longer have enzymes, live enzymes in that food, and so it's harder for your body to digest. But if you eat oh gosh, I use it in everything. And you know, it depends on what you're making. So I lacto-ferment salsas, which are awesome. So many times I'll eat that just with chips or with other veggies. Sauerkraut, I have it on hot dogs. You can do that on a veggie hot dog or a meat hot dog. I put them on my hamburger or veggie burger, if you like. I have them over salads. You know, there's a beautiful kimchi that you can do, which is a mixture of different vegetables, and you can put spice in it or not. I have that over salads. It's really delicious. You know, the more that you eat lacto-fermented foods, you'll find that you want them with everything. Salsa with your eggs in the morning, because when you feel the difference of eating with a lacto-fermented food, just how light you feel after eating, because your digestion's working really well and without taking a lot of energy from your stores, you'll find ways to eat it with everything. It'll become really natural.